Now it's different, man. And there was some people out there with some shit, you know what I'm saying? But they'll be a little,
Discreet.
discreet about it on the low. But the way once it got illegal, how it got, bro, that shit was just full free market. It was a full flat. Everybody was out there with a little sign. Smoke, man. Listen, we used to smoke hella pounds of that shit, bro. We before we knew what was really going on. You know what I'm saying? And even when we found out, people were still smoking that shit and still selling it. So it doesn't even like that shit was a big part of the culture overall in general. Like
Put a lot
everybody
of people on
smoked.
the map. It put
Yeah.
people money in their pocket.
Word. From what I expected to what it is right now and the way things are going, I'm like, holy shit. It's like crazy right now. And it's just getting started. And it goes to an era of like sour, haze, and all the stuff. This is a fucking lemon cherry era. As a consumer, they're really looking at a lot of people's looking for candy. And, it's funny, they all look for colors too.
Mhm.
It's like you have a consumer market that's like only want stuff like you said,
Mhm.
lemon cherry. Why? Because it smokes with grabba. It smokes in tobacco.
But the weed was really good.
Who you got some Roll 93 from, man?
Shit.
You got all these brands, bro. And I love my city. I love New York. I know we all get into this bag. I know we love the money and all this stuff, bro. But come on, guys. We got to be able to bring something else to the table besides the LCG, baby. Like, I love lemon cherries, you feel me? And I love every brand doing their thing and trying to get the best cut of lemon cherry they can to keep the candy flow going. But there's other good strains out there. It's your boy Fax. We here with my boy Queens on the Map on the top of the Wake and Bake. You know what I mean?
What is up, everybody? It's Queens on the Map podcast coming at you today. Usually, I let the guests introduce themselves, but today, this man, I want to introduce him myself because I've been waiting for this episode for a minute. Today, we got the host of the Wake and Bake Show, Fax. Welcome, brother. Welcome. Glad you could come through today and share some time with us, man.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you having me on the show, man, for real.
So you got the podcast going, and then you also do this thing where you go out, see what's popping off in the streets and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So what got you started in all the podcasting and everything?
It's crazy because I started off with Sunday Safe. So Sunday Safe is what wielded me into like actually going into a podcast with Wake and Bake Show. So Sunday Safe was created through the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? I had COVID, so it was like I couldn't really get up with nobody or smoke with nobody, and it didn't go away for a little minute. So I was like, damn, how can I like cipher my peoples and talk about this magnificent, bud I'm getting from other people, to try out, um, and share my thoughts on it, even though, I can't go nowhere is around the time, everybody was locked down. So I was like, fuck it, let me just create this channel, started Sunday Safe. And from there, you know, one day I was talking with my bro and he was like, "Yo, you should just start that podcast, Wake and Bake Show podcast." And I was like, word, start talking to more of the people that I'm actually getting these buds from. You know what I'm saying? And seeing what their mind is what they processing of the culture on our side, on the East Coast, coming from people from the West and different cultivators from all sides, which is dope. So that was what really gave the birth of that. And me and my bro, shouts to my bro Buddha. He was like, "Yo, you love talking about weed, bro. You should just go for that." And it was like from there on, I was like, "All right, cool, let's do it."
So how many years has it been that you've been doing like just content in general?
Content in general. So since 2020, really, since the pandemic, that's when everything was born. I started working on everything. From Sunday Save to creating the podcast and looking for different people from cultivators from here on the East Coast to the West Coast, brand owners, a couple musicians
Yeah.
and artists that have to deal with 420 culture. You know what I'm saying?
I saw you. The first episode was the Joint Chiefs.
Yeah, Joint Chiefs. Shout outs to the Joint Chiefs, man. Much love to them. Definitely, man, was a great episode. Learned a lot from them. As I listened to their music, and I was like, yo, these guys aren't really playing. They're really about the 420 shit, because every
Mm-hmm.
song had to deal with, cannabis, which was dope. So they really stick to that, and that was what amazed me about them, and I was like,
Shout outs to the Joint Chiefs though. They really stay true to the culture, and
for
they're
real.
real cool people. Like genuinely, they've hired me to do work for them, and it's been super dope working with them. So when did you? What was the episode that you did? This is how I first actually noticed you. First, I noticed you from the Joint Chiefs, but like actually the click on a video was the Backpacks Boys
Okay.
interview you did. So was that one of the what episode was that one?
I think that was episode number. Was that number 8? I launched it in a different sequence though. That was one of like my third podcast actually, but I launched it later because of the brand. Like I wanted to bring awareness to the East Coast first. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you were sitting on the podcast for a bit before you launched it.
Yeah, for a few months. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So the Joint Chiefs one, was it officially the first one, or is this the first one you dropped? Like, who was the official first one?
The official first podcast I did was with who I was with Unc. I actually did 2 podcasts that day. It was with a girl called Anna Mac and Barbie Steph. And I also did my boys from the studio, Unc, and all of them, you know what I'm saying? But those were before it was legal.
Okay.
So there's like a little twist in my story because then it became legal and it was like holy shit. But originally the first act that I did record was it was actually I think it was ZACKWOODS. ZACKWOODS.
ZACKWOODS was one of the first after
ZACKWOODS.
or before legalization.
It was a little bit just before legalization. You know
How'd you get ZACKWOODS? And I know he was popping off, running around all over the place. How'd that happen?
Shouts to my guy tonight. You know what I mean? That's my peoples. You know what I'm saying? Night out. Yeah, we wound up linking up one day, and it was like my boy was like, "Yo, this dude is in town. He's amazing marketing brand, you know." And I was like, "Yo, let's do it, bro." You know, I've heard a lot about the guy. I've seen him do his thing, so I was like, "This would be interesting, you know, to bring awareness to the culture here in New York, how certain brand people, you know, how certain brands move, you know, marketing wise. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, homie was he's the way he was doing his thing, it was dope. Like the Saved by the Bell theme and all that stuff. So it really caught my attention. You know, I was like, oh shit, that's nostalgic. You know what I mean? And the way he's bringing that culture back into the cannabis culture, I was like, I definitely had to talk to him about that. And that was the dope part about it. You know, so I got a chance. Shout out to my guy Knight, to actually do a podcast with ZACKWOODS. You know what I mean? Yeah. Appreciate him too coming through. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean?
And then how did it get to the Boys?
Backpack Boys.
Backpack Boys.
It was crazy because it was a shot I took, you know, and I was like, you know, I wound up hollering at my boy. My boy hit me up, and then he was like, "Yo, this dude is in town, bro. His story is dope," and I was like, you know, let me see what's up, because I like the story behind Backpack Boys, and I was like, I would love to get a chance to actually, because that really took the streets by far. Like at that time, that's what was really popping in the streets. You know, it was a lot of Backpack Boys, lemon cherry stuff.
Was this around 420?
Nah, this was a little bit before, right after the pandemic, like right after they opened the gates. That's when all of the stuff started happening. So, yeah.
All the brands started coming into New York right when the doors opened and 420 started becoming.
Yeah. It was I feel like during the pandemic it was crazy. You know, I feel like a lot of brands were showing themselves around that time. You know, during lockdown and all that shit.
Yeah. So now, what do you think? What do you think was the main reason for the legalization? Because there was a lot going on at that time with the COVID and was it the mayor or who's the guy? The Italian dude that was with the sexual harassment charges and stuff. It wasn't De Blasio. It was the one with the brother. You remember? You know who I'm talking about, right? Bro, the mayor. Bro, right when legalization came, remember it was like he has a brother that's on TV.
Yeah,
Cuomo.
Yeah, my boy with the wild pierced nipples. Son is crazy.
Exactly. Yeah, him and his brother. So I thought it was. You remember, like, because they had the thing with COVID, where older folks was passing away. They shut down. They wouldn't let everybody out.
Yeah.
And then boom, they legalized it. So what do you think caused the legalization of cannabis in New York?
That's a good question. I would say, I mean, the way the culture was moving in general, I feel like the legalization came because of money. Really, what can be done, behind cannabis. They kind of figure they, see what the market is like and what it really can do. But it's crazy that they going about it and like I feel like that man is dope. They legalizing it and they want to make sure everything is right. And but I feel like it was just like I don't know, man.
I feel like I feel like every time something big bad happens, they always try to flood in drugs of any type. And if they figure out like A or B drug goes in, and it'll make the people forget about what actually happened.
What actually is going
Yeah,
on?
it's a good distraction because even during every war, there was big heroin, opium,
That's
marijuana
true.
trades, like flooding markets. Most like the Vietnam War was heroin, and Afghanistan you got opium and heroin. So it's just they just always flood everything. Every time there's a war, they just like another state became legal. Think about that.
Word.
Hey, mushrooms. Hey.
Instead of what's really going on around the world. But you're absolutely right. I can see it in that form too. It's crazy. That's why I say it's crazy. I mean, I didn't want to put it how you did, but you
Yeah.
put it in that aspect. How I was thinking about it like that, but I didn't want to make it sound crazy. But for real, it is a lot behind money as well and distraction as well.
Every year,
But
people were saying, "Oh, it's gonna be legal this year," but it never became like legal. So I was losing hope by the time it became legal. I was like, "Bro, they say that all." My boy said that every year, bro. This year, bro, it's gonna happen, bro. I know it. Like,
it's funny because on Sunday Safe, I was actually telling people it was bound to happen. And people was like, nah, it's gonna be in a few years from now. And I was like, all right, you guys gonna see it's gonna be sooner than you think. I said, and boom, like 6 months, 7 months later, it was just like I was like, I told y'all, like, shit is gonna happen. It's just too much going on around the world, like you said. And what other way they see, how some states thrive, and how much money they made, in a quarter of what they doing, they calculating those numbers. So they like, yo, hold on, we could actually benefit from this as well. So that's the crazy part about everything. But I feel like it's cool, man. The culture moving forward, legalization is a good thing. Everybody's doing their thing from I feel like the underground to the legacy market, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the legal market giving an opportunity to some of the upcoming people as well. We need more of that though, more support on that note. You know, I see more Latino and black, shops open up would be dope, And the culture overall, I just love how it's moving. But right now I feel like from what I expected to what it is right now and the way things are going, I'm like, holy shit, it's like crazy right now. And it's just getting started though, bro. That's the most amazing
now
thing,
is that in a good way or a bad way that you thought, and then what it is?
It's both, actually, bro. It's both. It's like, it was like cool. Like, right, things was cool. Like, when it first, like, all right, it's legal, we smoking everything. And then that shit started developing, you start seeing the changes from the shops opening up, from the fucking smoke shops and everything. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh shit, this shit got crazy real fast. And, like I said, it's the culture in New York City. And that's why I love my city. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. But it's dope at the same time.
The money was a big motivator too, because they had legalized it in Jersey before they legalized it in New York. And to think everybody was gonna take New York money and spend it in Jersey was a big no. And to their taxes on this shit, like, big no.
Yeah, it's definitely different. And, it goes to show what the culture really is about. A lot of them know.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. You
A
know
lot
what
of
it
it
is?
is about money. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of it. A lot of people that are big into it are money people.
Mm-hmm.
And especially coming into it are big money people. Bigger money people are coming in. Pharmaceutical companies,
Mm-hmm.
cigarette companies, tobacco companies, all these companies
Yeah.
coming in. Yeah.
That's why that's another thing what I mean about it being crazy. Seeing all these people coming into this culture and you see it, man. You see what it is. Shout out to all my peoples, you know what I mean, doing the damn thing. All my people, all my home growers, you know what I'm saying, home growers and the shit like that. Really bringing out some stuff, man. We're gonna see where it goes, you know. You see the culture moving, how it's moving right now. We seen the first few shops open up, you know. It's dope, but you know,
Neighborhoods are getting blown up because I never thought shops would have crazy names. Like, I'll give somebody a shout out because it's a crazy name. Oxotics. Like, Oxotics, I'm like, yo, they're just so blatant with the names and everything, but it's still like in the gray zone, and you're like, how are they really doing it and getting away with it?
yeah.
So take us back to your young life. Where did you grow up? What was your history like?
Um, well, from a youngster, like how like really young. From
Yeah.
I started off in Manhattan.
You
As a
was
young boy.
you was born in New York.
Yeah, I was born in New York. I was born in Manhattan.
You are Dominican, Puerto Rican.
Nah, I'm Haitian.
You're Haitian.
I'm Haitian.
Wow,
Yeah, facts.
shit.
I'm Haitian,
Okay,
and
okay,
my mom's is Ecuadorian.
okay,
So
okay,
you know, I'm half and half.
okay. Ça passe.
Nah, mule, you already know.
Okay. All right. So growing up in New York, where?
Manhattan, and then I moved towards the Bronx. I'm early, like probably like 10 years old. Moved to the Bronx.
And when did you start smoking?
Around 12. 2 years shortly after I moved to the Bronx, I was introduced. Well, I already knew what it was because my brothers and my cousins used to chief around me,
Okay.
but I didn't really like get to know, like experience it till I hit like 12, almost like, you know.
How's a Haitian family take the kids smoking weed?
I wasn't raised by them. I was just raised by my mom's
Okay.
side, really.
She
Yeah.
she
Wasn't with it.
she
Nah.
wasn't she was
Nah.
tripping over it. Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely was when she seen me red out for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, this got to be scary, bro. Haitian is type scary, especially if you.
Um,
Is it like super like the Spanish too, where they think it's like the devil and it's super bad, or is it different?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if my dad was with it or not. You know what I'm saying? He probably would have not been with it at an early age like I was. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But you know,
And then how much did you start off smoking? You used to smoke just like a little bit. You buy your own, or just it took you a minute to buy your own weed.
nah, it was easy for me to buy my own weed. Actually, I have friends around me that knew people, you know, and I was in the Bronx at that time. That's when I moved to the Bronx. So I lived by one of the dopest blocks, like that always had weed. I lived by Creston. If you
Hmm.
ever heard of that block back in the days, it was a huge block. Um, they wouldn't serve young boys unless, you know, they know somebody that, you know, you referred,
Hmm.
you know, somebody referred you. But, you know what I'm saying? I was lucky to have somebody old enough to, you know what I mean, take care of me and go, you know, show me love. But I'm from the Bronx, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit gets around. If you're around the right people, you could get your hands on certain shit. As a kid, I was always around certain shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was weird. And my boy one day was like, "Yo, let's smoke," and I was just like, "All right, let's do it. Fuck it, I'm gonna try this shit." You know what I'm saying? And then from there, it was a wrap. It was like I tried it. It was probably one of the best experiences I ever had. For the first time, I was running and felt like I wasn't going nowhere, and that shit felt weird, but I was high as a motherfucker. That was a good experience.
The music used to sound different. Food used to taste different.
Different, all of that, you know. It was just a great overall experience. You know, the first experiences getting high to me is like the best experiences, you know. Not for everybody, though. Everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it was dope.
What age do you say you should? What age do you suggest people should start smoking? Kids, or whatever. Like,
Nah,
what's the
nah.
youngest age
Listen, we was
somebody?
bad. We didn't have much to do when I was coming up. You know what I'm saying? So smoking bud and doing shit like playing manhunt and shit like that was more. Now there's a lot of entertainment. Now you got gadgets and phones that we didn't really have. Like we had a few joints, but it wasn't like it is now, where you can fucking watch a movie off your phone clearly HD. You know.
Yeah.
So getting high and having fun and social life was actually a thing to do. So getting
Hmm.
high was always how, you know, us back in the days used to gather up with shorties, chill, introduce them to bud and shit, play hooky and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So with doing the podcast, it's been a long time, right?
Hmm.
So what are some things you feel like you've made mistakes or learned during the journey of just content creation in this world?
Um, I feel like, you know, learning how to monetize and budget is one thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing, you know. and being well, I say yeah, that'll be that. You know.
I saw you did the podcast with Rob Rifa, and you
Oh
was
yeah.
talking about you had spent a good budget
Oh
on
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I mean about monetizing and doing things right. Cause well, I wouldn't say I spend money wrong because my network is different now. So it's learning how to budget and going about it at the same time and learning how to make bread at the same time is a good thing
Mhm.
as you do what I did.
Mhm.
So that's what it taught me. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point, I reached the lowest of my budget and I'm like, holy shit. That's what I was telling you before we even did this
Yeah.
part. I was like, yo, man, I'm hitting the last little bit of my budget for this shit. So I was like, how can I go about it where I could promote, get some sponsors, promote them, and also, see if they could like help me out, because I was paying for the spot, you know what I'm saying, and it wasn't as like, it was expensive.
Yeah, no, it was bigger spot. You could smoke there
Yeah,
unless
we
you
could
wasn't allowed to,
smoke.
and you still did it.
Nah, we was able to smoke. So, the spot that I had to rent was one. I would also hire my camera guy, that's two, and getting an edit is another thing. You know what I'm saying? So all three of those things I started paying for, and then also flying, meeting
How
people.
much you? So, what's the how? When did you start paying? And then when you realized like you got to that, I think you said 30K
Yeah,
on this
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
So what was that time period when you like? Well, how long was you really spending for? Like,
Oh man, that was probably for like a year span.
that's not too bad though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
not.
like some. I thought it was like 4 months, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Nah, it was
I
like
thought it was a
honestly,
lot of cause.
I could say it probably was in the 6 month span though,
Yeah.
because it was during that time I was recording
Mhm.
and flying out and meeting people.
This is
You know
when
what
you
I'm
went and
saying?
saw Greasy and everything too out there, or this is before that?
No, this was a little before that. This
Okay.
was like my first trip to Cali, then my second one, and I went a third time as well. It was going to meet people, network, and build a relationship before I could even podcast. You know what I'm saying? I like to get to know someone, learn a little something about them, get to feel them out as a person, get them comfortable with me, and then I'll be like, yo, I got this podcast going. And I think you'll be a great fit, to be on the show. Would you like to be on my show? It consists of this, and this. And then they're like, hell yeah, bro. And I'm like, maybe not right, because during the
Yeah.
times we networking and we meeting people, it's not like we're going to be like right then and there,
Yeah,
like,
of course.
but that's where we exchange information. We become cool, build a relation, and it becomes easier for me to navigate when I do get to interview them.
Now, when you're making these appointments and everything, are you thinking about like how am I gonna do the video or mic setup, or like what's going through your head about planning on traveling and bringing stuff with you? Are you looking for studios there?
Oh, no, actually, yeah, I actually do. You're gonna see the next podcast I got coming out. Shout outs to Backpack Boy Juan. We did part two. I actually flew out there and did part two with them, um, and did carry my equipment and everything with me. You know what I'm saying? I travel with my equipment, so
Yeah.
that makes it easier for me to actually do, um, in the sense of someone's comfort. Because if you can see, I've done some in the rooftops.
Mhm.
I've done one in a Russian bathhouse. Shout out to Chef for Hire, Hawaiian
Okay.
Mike. You know what I mean? He was actually the first person that took me out of my comfort zone. So shouts to him, you know. But yeah, the setup is, to me, I love this shit, man. And you could put me anywhere, and I'll be able to take care of business because it's what I've learned to, love. Like I like what I'm doing. I didn't see myself in the beginning really taking it like all the way as I'm doing it now, but I've learned so much from it that I'm like I fell in love with it. The first few episodes, even the practice ones I did, and it was just like, yo, I like this, and then from there it was just like it's growth. So every time it's time for me to set up, it's like I don't care where I'm
What's
at.
your favorite part?
My favorite part is actually the interview, the whole interview, like getting to know the person and actually enlightening others on the journey of someone, on how they went about their journey, to get to where they at today. It's amazing stories.
I have a lot of like I get a little contemplated and stuff before like doing podcasts myself too, because sometimes I try to take notes on a person, but then half my brain be going, but you don't have conversation with people with notes. When do you have a conversation with somebody with notes? So why? But then the notes kind of keep you on track, and it's this like. So do you use notes, or how do you go forward with that?
Um, Not really. If you really see me, not really. Sometimes that's why I build relationships with people and get to know them. So as I do get a chance to interview them, I feel like it's easier for me doing it that way. I might have a few notes, but that'll be like my jokes and shit that I have that I entertain them with towards the end, after we get high. But not too many. Unless it's somebody like recently I had the luxury of interviewing it was amazing King Fights Cancer's dad. So I ain't gonna lie, I did write a few notes down for him because this is a serious podcast and
You don't want to miss topics.
yeah.
Forget something you actually wanted to ask somebody.
Yeah, for sure. But he was on my money. He taught me something as a podcaster because I'm fairly new to this shit too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like a pro at it or none of that. I'm still learning as I'm going. But he taught me something because he answered all my questions, bro, in one shot. Like
What do you
not
mean?
not in one
What you mean?
shot, but like as I asked him, like, all right, so um let's talk about we was talking about a specific subject. And from that subject, what happened is one thing led to the next, to the next thing, to the next thing,
Which was all
and
on your list.
which was on my list. He didn't answer almost everything. I'm being sarcastic,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he answered like 3, 4 of my questions in one shot, like
Yeah.
in one, take. And I was like, oh wow. I'm looking at my, notes. That's when I noticed, like, he taught me something. It's like sometimes you might have a guest who will be able to, like, you're not gonna see it, but with the one question you might ask him, it'll lead to like three
Yeah.
of the others without you even wanting to. So you don't want to say the same thing again, and be
Yeah.
like. But it taught me that, like, let it flow sometimes, and most of my episodes was like that for that reason. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I build a relationship with people and get to know them. I might have a few questions written down in case like I might get derailed a little bit or I might forget something, but to bring it up and that would keep me on float. But a lot of it, I'm not gonna see a lot of you. I didn't write for. I
Just went with the flow.
yeah. I'm the thing is when I first started the podcast, I formatted it a certain way to ask people a certain thing. Their analysis, how they got started. So it was a basic for everybody. I'll run the same flow. So it became like I don't need to really write too many questions because I already know how I'm gonna run the podcast. So I will explain it to them before we start, and it's just a straight through,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
It's pretty smooth once you get a little hang of it. Once you,
Mhm.
depending on the topic, you might have to take notes, might not have to take notes. Some of the ones that I've done have been good. Like so I had to do shit like last minute,
Okay.
and then you have no time to take notes or anything, so you just bounce out. But the conversation skills get a little bit better over time when you do it. Yeah, whatever. But yeah. Let me see what I got. So how you smoked a lot of weed so far. You tried all these different brands. What's the percentage of it actually all being lemon cherry gelato?
Oh man, we can't really tell that at this point because a lot of the shit we get is no percentages on them and shit. But
Yeah.
and I don't go by percentage.
Mhm.
Cause I'll be honest with you, I've tried a lot of in-house like rack weed and stuff like that, in-house shops, and they have their percentages on them. And bro, I've smoked shit with a low percentage that's gotten me way more higher than something with like a 33% THC, and so I really don't go by that.
The
I go by the texture and the look of the bud, really. You know what I'm saying? The
smell.
smell,
Yeah.
you know.
Based on experience of what you
Yeah,
know you
or what
like.
strain it is, or what strain they might they might have crossed. It's interesting too. And if you get the nose appeal from both strains, it's dope. It's definitely intriguing. It makes
Is
me
it
wanna
hard to
smoke.
come by for you to different strains? Because for me, it's a
Right
lot of the
now?
lemon cherries.
Yeah,
like I run
right
into.
now that's why I mean it's crazy.
Yeah.
You got all these brands, bro, and I love my city. I love New York. I know we all get into this bag. I know we love the money and all this stuff, bro. But come on, guys, we gotta be able to bring something else to the table besides the LCG, baby. Like I love lemon cherries, you feel me? And I love every brand doing their thing and trying to get the best cut of lemon cherry they can to keep the candy flow going. But there's other good strains out there that we gotta be able to, as connoisseurs and curators of your own brand, be able to find somebody who could find you some heat that's gonna attract, the streets. And you could do it. There's certain brands out there and flavors out there and strains and crosses that people are creating that's pretty dope. And I feel like if we start enlightening the streets on other, strains that's coming out, should it be a little bit different from just LCGs running around in
Yeah.
everybody's brand. But that's also what I mean about awareness too, you know?
It's the consumer, right? Like, we can blame people also. Like, there's two ways. It's 50-50 almost. But, most people say, yo, it's the trappers, bro. They keep copping lemon cherries. They give it to us. But at the same time, the people do like lemon cherry. There's a lot of people that genuinely like lemon cherry. If you don't tell them it's lemon cherry and just show it to them, they'll pick that over other ones. They don't even
Because they already know what it looks like and what it smells like.
And it also has they have it's like almost like a cigarette thing where you kind of want just a Newport. If you smoke Newport, you don't want it's tobacco, but you're used to that now. You might say you're not used to it, but
and I love that you mentioning this too. You're absolutely right. And it goes to an era of like sour, haze, and all the stuff. This is a fucking lemon cherry era. Lemon cherry runs era. Anything that's gelato-ish, like, that.
And Skittles is close to that.
Skittles is making the buzz over here. A lot of people request some Skittles over here as well, too. But LCG right now in the streets, you're absolutely right. As a consumer, they're really looking at a lot of people's looking for candy. That's what they're calling it right now. Everybody's calling it candy. And, it's funny. They all look for colors, too.
The
it has
don't
to
mean anything.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. But to them, it's za.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, and it's crazy because I love, like I said, the culture is the culture, and then you also have the consumer culture. I feel like there's two different types. The culture overall is big, and I feel like I don't want to label anybody or people, but you kind of can in a way because it's like you have a consumer market that's like only wants stuff like you said, lemon cherry. Why? Because it smokes with grabba. It smokes in tobacco.
That's a good answer.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a really good answer.
It smokes in these wraps. So if it smokes in the wraps, it's gonna make it, and that's the candy flavor that's actually complemented by a backwood or by some grabber. You know what I'm saying? In papers.
True. I've never really thought of it like that. That's so fascinating.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why LCG and Runts was winning at the time. They still winning. It's still winning at this moment, because that's what the consumers want in the streets, That's what's requested. But like I said, we could still also have different shit on the menu, man. But, slowly pitch it to them at least, because that's how shit gets started. Eventually, each consumer market is going to evolve like everything else does. You know what I'm saying? It's only a matter of time before people start like, I'm tired of smoking that now.
So, when you go to Cali, do you see the market over there similar to here, or is there a difference?
Oh man, if you're going as a person to that's a good question.
I've only been there once.
Oh man, you find a lot of LCGs out there too because they know that's what's busting out here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's what they hold in front of you.
Oh man, it's like, yo, I went over there and it was like, yo, you want to check out some LCG? And I'm like, yo, bro, hold on. I want to check out some new shit, different type of shit. I'm gonna check that out too for sure because that's what everybody want. But on another note, like, I want to try the new shit. Who got the new shit? You know what I'm saying? And that's where I met people like Greasy, you know what I'm saying? And tried different people's stuff like Ethic Farms and Finessely. There's a few other people, Fidel's stuff, Gas No Breaks, all these other people that cultivate as well. Well, not Gas No Break, but Fidel's.
They're all linked
Surge.
in together.
They all
too,
linked
right?
together. Yeah, they were
Fidel's,
brothers.
Gas No Breaks.
They brothers. Yeah,
family,
for sure.
Yeah.
Family facts.
Yeah.
So.
And how long have you been going to? Have you been? Let me ask it like this: have you been to George Washington Square Park before 420, like before legalization happened?
Oh yeah, man.
Was it the same or different after?
It was always people were always smoking weed in that motherfucker.
What about the tables?
there was people with tables, but not like it is right now. It was just it now is different, man. And right before, I'm not gonna say they weren't. There was some people out there with some shit, you know what I'm saying? But they'll be a little,
Discreet.
discreet about it on the low. But the way once it got illegal, how it got, bro, that shit was just full free market. It was a full flat. Everybody was out there with a little sign on the table.
It was mind blowing because my first time there, I just sat there smoking a joint, watching transactions. Just watching it was beautiful to watch. Watching people buy Bubba off of white kids for 20 a gram is amazing to watch. Like older dudes would just come up and buy Bubba for 20, which is crazy. Cause it's like
Damn,
almost time doesn't exist. Like it doesn't. They telling them, yo, it's Bubba and it's 20 a gram, and they're going, let me get one. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro.
It's Bubba, damn.
And this, yo,
You saying this era?
yo, they still do it. I was just like sitting there, like I thought I was in a time machine. Like I thought I smoked a joint and went back. Like you could walk around the park and literally they got Bubba here, lemon cherry, and you can make your way back to Bubba. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, it's crazy. They I ain't gonna lie. I've seen some old school strains down there too that amazed me, and I was like, wow, you guys still have these strains? Like, where are you even finding these strains? Not really as good as what I remember them to be, but
there's something up with the weed now that I feel like is so different since they focus so much on THC. I feel like bread, whatever else was there, like you said, you could have less THC and still get more high because I feel like, bro, it's a mixture of food. Is good when you got the right seasoning in it, not just salt.
Yeah, man, you're absolutely right, and that's why I say that. And I've tried I've been trying a lot of New York stuff lately, and that's why I've been like, I still try my Cali shit, but it gotta be like, you know what I'm saying, a grower's type.
You know
like,
what you're looking for with Cali. With New
Yeah.
York, you're more open-minded, at least giving it a shot.
For sure, because it's the beginning. But man, I'm impressed with some of the stuff I've been seeing, and shout outs to everybody in New York that's doing their thing, all the cultivators coming up, you know what I'm saying? I love what I'm seeing. It's a beautiful thing, and I see us going very far with it, and making some noise as well, because we're already making some noise. A lot of the shit that I've been seeing, I've been really impressed with. And is some shit is keeping up with a lot of stuff that's out there. It's just that it can't be grown in abundance, like, because it's small batch. But I feel like that's what's special about New York. Is that there's gonna be so many small batch growers and a lot of people creating these new strains and looking for these new strains, that we're gonna be finding good strains here and there that's gonna be popping, and it's gonna be dope,
Hopefully they keep the cuts. Because that's one of the main things. You don't want... You see, that's what happens. You get a nice cut, for example. A nice cut of sour, for example. And you flipping that cut. And, you flipping the flower from it. And then, like, next year, a couple years down, you never really kept a good enough amount of clones. And this shit just got weaker. Now you lying to niggas and shit. Like, yo, this is that, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's also going on. They're like, yo, this is it. But you're like, yo, this don't hit like it used to. And they're like, oh, the clone got weak. No, you just don't have it. Like, people got to hold on to shit, too. You got to realize that's what fucks up on small batch. Because you're small batch. You're not... You don't know.
And you don't know what you're going to keep, sometimes. And that's true. But it's hard, man.
But we're just young. We're just so young.
We're just learning, and from what I've seen in the culture right now, and some of the growers, from what I've seen from them, like I've tried something that they threw away, and I was like, damn, you threw that away, bro. And it was like, yeah, man, I just felt like it wasn't gonna make the cut because it wasn't strong enough. It wasn't yielding enough, but it tastes amazing, bro.
That's how one of the things from Greasy was like the RO93. He's had complications before with other people, and I think he spoke on in the podcast too, where I think they were gonna do a thing with Blanco, the Blanco. Yeah. So I think they was gonna do something with them. I think they did do something, but he sent them their his RO93, and it's a very small plant, like. RO93 is like a 3 foot, 4 foot type plant, and 3-4 ounces. No, not even, probably 2 ounces, 3 ounces off of like a good flower cycle, like a 2-month veg, 2-month flower, and it still doesn't produce enough. So but it tasted amazing. The nug structure was something you've never seen before. Definitely the one that I had, because the RO93 that I had was grown over here. So it was different nug structure. It was from seed. but it was the characteristics was real close to a greasy. It was just short, doesn't yield that much.
Wow.
But the weed was really good.
Who you got some Roll 93 from, man? Shit.
Just know, the cut was going around and nobody grabbed the cut. They wanted to grab. I think they, if I'm not, they was. This is when the RS11 cut was happening. Drop of the Doja RS11 cut was getting dropped. So my homie was trying to get rid of the RO93 because he was like, bro, these cuts are going for $1,000, bro.
Facts.
They're expensive nowadays. Which I like. I like the market being expensive. I'm tired of the cheap market of the $300 units from the BC Buds and all the China packs and everything. Let's
talk about that.
Yeah, how's your experience with the China packs? Was you a consumer of them? Because I was.
We all were at one point. We all were smoking those packs. You know, the streets was flooded with them. You know,
I liked it just because it would get you what this is China pack, bro. You know what you're paying for it, so you can't be mad at anything. Like it never really got you mad more as much at yourself than the weed itself.
I mean, listen, the beginning, nobody really knew what it was. It was just going around in abundance, you know. And
Platinum.
Yeah, platinums everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Bubbles everywhere. You know, it was just everywhere. You know what I mean? It got to a point where this shit was everywhere.
And people thought orange hair was fire. You saw orange hair on the butt. Man. Yo, bro, Chewbacca.
I was always, you see, the thing about me, and I love how I am about cannabis, is like I can't keep smoking something forever. Like, I have to have something different. Mm-hmm. You know, and as a connoisseur and a person who admires and loves the plant as well, like, that's the reason why I want to try different things. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what the effects of this next strain that I'm going to smoke is going to, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. How high is it going to get me, or where is it going to take me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Does it make me feel lazy? Does it make me feel up? You know what I mean?
What do you think about all the new shit that's coming out, like the Delta 8?
I'm not with all that, man. I'm just with the original Dandara, man. Well, let's keep it there.
Yeah,
I'm with that, man. You know,
all that stuff. It's like it's almost like a version of crack now coming out, right? Like it's cool and all, whatever. But it's like you're just taking one plant. Like what they say was like, we take this little molecule from the hemp plant, and then we take it from all of the other ones, and then combine it, and now you can get high. And it's so crazy. Like, why does that have to happen just for legalization loopholes, just to get the same high? Like, it's just a plant. Like, it's like I think this shit came out about this brand called I don't know if it's actually true, but there was a brand that was spraying their weed with terps, and they're like known for spraying terps apparently, like, and it was just crazy.
Oh man, yeah, I mean,
just spraying terps, and it doesn't smell like weed. It smells like just
the actual what they're calling it, you know,
type shit. Like, but it doesn't smell like weed. You smell it, you're like, this is not weed, bro.
This shit
like,
is flavor.
If you say watermelon, like, what's that watermelon, bro? What the fuck?
Just like
what do you feel about that? Like, fucking with that or no?
Nah,
no spray terps.
No spray terps for
me
me.
Neither, bro.
I can't fuck with the spray terps. No disrespect to anybody doing their thing. Do your thing, you know. Do what you gotta do, but just not for me, you know. I like different bud, man. I like to taste what the bud really tastes like.
Yeah. Are you fucking with the new app called it's not a new app anymore? Is it Social Club?
Yeah, I actually opened up a social club. It's just hard to keep up with all these social medias, bro. I'm very like, I could give time to like one at a time, you know, and it's like hard to like me. I'm not a person to be on Twitter, Instagram, social club. What's another one that there might
Facebook.
be? Facebook.
YouTube.
I can't be on all of that, you know. So
what's that other gamer one like?
Twitch.
Discord,
I might have
Discord.
Twitch. I was thinking about one because I'm a
content creator.
Yeah, but you can't smoke.
No.
I don't think you can smoke on it. So my boy, I'm gonna find out now before anything. I think if I do, I have to keep it low. Like I can't be like all like, you know.
You might have switched cameras or some shit, or maybe that's gonna be a tricky one. Maybe because you know what it is right now. YouTube has a loophole that people are trying in a way. I heard is with vapes. Vapes are not going into. Who's this guy who was known for vaping in stores? Young kid, skinny kid, I forgot his name, but he would vape in stores, and that was his YouTube thing. Like, I forgot his name, but you heard of Dope is Yola? He did an interview with him. I forgot it's young, skinny Hispanic kid. He just vapes inside stores. When people tell him to get out, he just doesn't argue. He just gets out. That's his thing. But the reason why he got so, like, somebody did a documentary on it where, like, he got so much clout just because of the fact that YouTube doesn't pick up the vape as a blunt or something like that. It doesn't pick that up because of the image and the way it looks. So maybe that's like a little loophole in these areas. But the funny thing is, New York's never been like a vape city, right? Like,
nah.
Cali's more into vape than New York.
I mean, I feel like people are like more aware now of the rosin and things like that. The vape is cool, but I see more people gravitating more towards the pens, which is cool. Like the carts.
Kids was loving the pens back in the day. You remember the smart carts?
Yeah. I never was a fan of anything.
I was never a fan of anything that looked too fake. Like, obvious, like smart water, smart cart. I was just like, I couldn't get jiggy with it. I couldn't get jiggy with like the dank vapes or anything.
Me either. I never vape at all.
And never. Well, you did.
Have
you copped the Kingpin?
A G pen, yeah. Okay, so on that note, that's the only way I would vape.
That's the vaporizer.
Put in, the rosin in the pen and smoking it, because I know what I'm putting in there.
Yeah.
So like that is cool, you know.
But not pen.
It depends. It depends who it's coming from.
Okay.
Like if it's coming from the dispo and I know it's cool, like I bet I'll fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But the streets joints that was just running around, nah, bro.
If you had no choice, if you was stuck on the island and all you had was a nicotine vape and a China weed vape, which one would you hit?
I will go with the China back weed vape. Why not? Man, I smoke. Man, listen, we used to smoke hella pounds of that shit, bro. Before we knew what was really going on. You know what I'm saying? And even when we found out, people were still smoking that shit and still selling it. So it doesn't even like that shit was a big part of the culture overall in general. Like
put a lot of people on the map. It put people money in their pocket.
It changed people's lives.
Motherfuckers is riding around in Lambos in Cali because of China packs, but still copping the Cali weed like it has something to do with it, but it doesn't. It's China packs. So all Canada is helping them out with everything. But here's the thing: New York has this very big history of getting shit from Canada. Getting shit from all over. Like, it's big history in cannabis or just in drugs in general of people meeting up, people hand in hand, transactions, import, export. It's such a big thing, and they make it illegal like it wasn't going on the whole time before they made it illegal. Like, it had to happen for them to make it illegal. Like, these stupid things, like, yo, if you get locked up, you got to take your shoelace off. Who's going to hang themselves? Well, somebody hung themselves. That's why they got to take them.
I could twist though, right?
Huh? Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Hold on. You can roll. Oh, yeah. Roll up. I thought you wanted to spin around the chair for a second.
No.
I was like, you want to just twist? Yeah. You can roll up. Yeah, roll up. But, yeah, like, this shit was a little wild. But, it's too many apps that for me too, even like Social Club, I've got an account on it, but I haven't posted anything, and I got a bunch of shit that I'm stacking up that I'm probably gonna just let go, like shotgun rounds in there and shit, like just clips after clips after clips, just so it'd be a little easier, so I don't have to like sit on it and I just have a bunch of content. It's so tricky to be on all these things. I don't have a Twitter. I don't have all this other shit. I can barely keep track of Instagram.
Bro.
A couple Instagram accounts, and that's already hard enough to keep track of, especially with them deleting you. And you've had that situation, right? Or did you get hacked or did you got deleted?
Thank God I didn't get deleted. They just disabled my account.
Oh.
Knock on wood. But yeah, that was kind of whack, man. For me to try to get my account back, I thank God I was able to get it back.
That's a whole hustle right there, too, with motherfuckers getting the account backs for you.
Oh, man. I was blessed to have a good friend of mine. Shout out to Bad Habit Foodie, my boy. He knew a friend who knew a friend that actually, worked in
for Instagram?
IG. Yeah, so, I got lucky having good friends, you know what I'm saying?
Did you feel like you were speaking to, like, the Don or something? Like, you had to...
Nah, man.
Corleone?
It was just awesome that, I got friends that came through for me like that, because I was kind of like, damn, man, I had so much stuff on that page from when I started to where I'm at now that it was like, yo, like, those are good memories, And that's really what was, like, really getting to me. That was like, damn, bro. You know,
It's the
that's
memories
the beginning.
that really count the most. And then, so you can look at it, other people can look at it and know. Also, I wanted to give you this as a little present for coming out today.
Oh man,
It's
good looks, bro.
Hand pressed traditional hash.
Thank you,
in
man.
there. And then yeah, and if it gets too at the end of it, it's in a cellophane paper, which is like food grade plastic.
Okay.
It's in between that, and it's wrapped in just the regular plastic wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So when you open it, it might be super like gooey and shit like that. Like if it's a little warmer or something, if you open it, you're gonna have to rip it open like, you know what I'm saying? Do it like that so it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you just do it quick so it
could just leave.
Yeah, it's a smooth shit. And then if it's too melty, just put it in the fridge or some shit, make it a little cold, and then and then just close it up all the way again so it don't dry up. And
Appreciate that, man. Thank you, man.
Enjoy, brother.
What's the crow? What's that?
I don't even know. New York grown outdoor.
Okay.
Fucking traditional hash.
Nice.
Hopefully it goes well. But so. On another note, you have heard of Afro Man and shit, right? Before?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I got high.
For sure.
Yeah. Did you know that his crib got raided?
I recently heard about it, but I didn't get into the details on that. What was up with that?
Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you this and actually get your reaction on this. He made a whole song about it, and it was the song is called "Will You Repair My Door?" Because they knocked down his door.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larry June. Afro Man.
That's his cameras in his house.
Oh shit. I love his green room.
Will you help me repair my game? Will you help me repair my door? Did you find what you was looking for?
Oh shit.
Will you help me repair my gate and door?
Oh damn.
Would you like a slice of lemon pound cake?
They eating his food in his house.
Can take as much
Look.
as you
Oh wow.
Eating his lemon pound cake.
There must be a big mistake.
I gotta see this. Hold on.
Would you like to have a
Hey, he's about to get right now.
lemon pound cake? The warrant said narcotics and kidnapping. The warrant said narcotics and kidnapping.
What the fuck?
Are you kidding? I make my money rapping. Why does the warrant say narcotics? Well, I know narcotics, but why kidnapping?
Oh my god.
Yo, bro, it shit was
Out of everything, kidnapping.
Any kidnapping victims inside my suit pockets?
Wow, bro.
He said, "Any kidnapping victims in
Yes,
my
sir.
CD case?"
Jesus Christ.
Yo, they went wild. So basically, somebody probably obviously snitched on him and did that thing. He was in a non-legal, not fully legal state, only a medical legal state. Kind of messed him up. It was pretty crazy. But then after that, sometimes we take the negatives and make them into positives. So he took that negative and made a song out of it, and that shit went popping. And I heard about it on Vlad, and I was like, yo, this is hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I didn't even know. That's crazy, bro. Was that recently? And
Yes,
he already
this year. This
and
just happened.
And he dropped the song for it.
He dropped the song because the cops they took $1,000 from his house, only gave him $500 back.
Wow.
And then he said, yo, where's that paper? Because when they take your bread, they give you a paper with the receipt type shit on it. And they never gave it to him. And the case just disappeared.
That sucks, bro.
Yeah, bro, it sucks. Especially but whatever, bro. He took it like a positive. He said, fuck it, I'm gonna make a song out of it. Because the reason,
Facts.
bro, they was messing with him because he went to the precinct to get an insurance report for the door and this and that, but they wouldn't give it to him. So how's he gonna get insurance payment without the police report if the police station is not even gonna give him the report?
That's fucked up.
And they just kept delaying the case and the case and the case, so it just now he has to pay out of pocket.
Nah, that's
It's just
fucked
crazy,
up.
bro. The cops do all kinds of wild shit, bro.
Yeah, he'll be, after seeing that video, he'll be alright. He'll get reimbursed.
Yeah. He's doing interviews and he knows he gotta move. I'm pretty sure he's gonna think about moving to a different neighborhood too, maybe somewhere they.
Yeah, you don't
they
want
don't
to
go hard
you
for
don't want to
weed.
get harassed by them either. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But yo, these things are just so crazy nowadays with rules, regulations, lawsuits, things of that nature. Like,
For real.
did you see this shit happen with Raw?
Oh yeah, man, that's crazy. There's a lot of stuff still going around about that, man.
It was going on for I think a couple of years already.
Yeah.
It was. I looked deeply into this, bro, because am deeply invested in with raw people, all that type of shit with just my time. Not no real bread, but just in time. I fucks with them. Everything is cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when that happened, everybody disappeared. No more Raw representatives. Everybody took Raw out of their bios. And the stories got a little weirder and this and that. And, and I can, like, because you know who's suing them, right? It's Republic brand, I think. And they're like OCBs and shit.
Yeah.
And it's just so confusing with how they're doing things, and then Raw lost the lawsuit, and then now they're showing like whatever they're trying to like clean up image and shit. I just feel like it's so crazy how a brand can build up to a certain degree, and then the lawsuit happened. It damages their reputation, and reputation is so big in this industry.
Yeah, to people that pay attention to situations like that, it is. But then you got consumers out there and people that don't really pay attention to shit like that, and they still buying.
Okay,
You know,
that's
so
good.
It's to each his own. Like, it's crazy, but their market will forever keep going no matter what. You know.
I think so too. I felt like in long enough time people will forget, because people forget a lot of things, and it just sparked a different conversation of like what kind of papers are better, worse, again, or like what metals are in papers, because they just did a test and they found out, like, you ever seen one of those clear rolling papers, like clear plastic looking shits?
Yeah, I don't.
Those
I
are
don't
heavy
smoke.
metals.
I don't smoke shit like that.
A lot of hemp wraps are coming out with heavy metals too, like the blunt looking ones and shit. The hemp wraps, they coming out with heavy metals. And the rolling paper that looks like $100 bill. That one. Those are the gold ones and shit like that.
Yeah, I never smoke paper like that, bro.
Oh, so you just like a bowl guy, or you like?
Nah, I like rice paper, man.
Okay.
Rice paper it is. Like, I deal with elements. Those have been my favorite ever since, you know, I always smoke elements. You know, since I made the transition to paper. I tried the raw ones, but I didn't like them.
Yeah.
The one that I really got used to was the element, so I stuck to the element, you know.
Yeah, man, the game is just so weird now, because my boy the other day, he just went to the store and he bought like a joint off of the Ox, and I don't smoke that, but he lit it and I took a hit and the weed was just not it. So I was like, it was canoeing and everything, so I was like, yo, let me just, if anything for you, let me just cut it and roll it in a different piece of paper. You can take it off if you want. So I was like, yo, let me just cut it and put it in a different piece of paper for you. So we cut the weed out and put it in a different piece of paper. It burned fine. So long story short, the store had good weed, but in whack paper. Like, it had fake papers. So even that's like in part of the game. You could have good weed, but if your pre-rolls, or if your person using pre-rolls is using some fake papers, that's not going to be any good either.
Facts. And there's a lot of bootleg stuff outside. You know, New York is New York, people. We got to understand that everything gets bootlegged here in New York. So you got to be aware of what you're getting. You know, peep how shit is burning, you know, shit like that. And stick to certain things that you know, like, you know, places you know you get it from, or whatever it is. If you feel like there's fakes out there, just be aware and have an open eye, man.
This is almost pretty much the bootleg capital, pretty much.
That's a fact.
And you could make a living here off of bootleg because of how many people are here.
Oh, man, a lot of people, facts, came up on bootlegging, and bootlegging is one thing here that's known for sure for years.
Yeah.
Is that, you know, from CDs, you know what I'm saying, to the era of, you know,
Everything. The CD Chinese lady would come in, CDs.
movies,
Yeah,
all of that.
All of that shit. Before Netflix. We had our own
Before,
Netflix.
yeah.
Blockbuster used to come right to the block.
That's a fact.
But yeah. So let us know, bro, where we can find you, everything. And if you want to give any shout outs to anybody.
Yeah, man. Big shout outs to you for having me. Shout outs to Queens on the Map. You already know it was a pleasure being here, man. I appreciate you having me on this platform. Shout outs to all my boys out there that, you know, support us and show us love, the whole culture overall. You know what it is. It's your boy Facts. We here with my boy Queens on the Map on the top of the Wake and Bake. You know what I mean? So big shout outs to my guy, and shout outs to everybody supporting us and showing us love. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Now, one more time. What was your IG again?
My IG is Wake and Bake Show is at Wake and AND Bake _ show. You know what I'm saying? So for those that know, you already know. It's your boy Facts, host of the Wake and Bake Show, baby. Signing out with Queens on the Map, baby.
And that's it. We out. Thank you.
Yeah.